It is Thursday, October 24th. Welcome to the Damon Bruce Show. We are brought to you by Ike Sandwiches. Today's live stream being powered by BetUS, and it is fantastic having you here. Thanks so much for stopping on by today. I emailed myself one bit of important information that I need to just get over here. Should have been a little bit more prepared. Now we are prepared, and it's officially time to prepare for Brocktober. Maybe that's why it's been a struggle for the San Francisco 49ers. We've yet to use the terrible, tacky definition of the word Brocktober. We've yet to use it. We've yet to use it. You know, I think it was who was that comedian, Dane Cook? There's only one October. Well, Brocktober is about to end here, and we really have not seen the guy that is, you know, at the center of all Brocktoberfest festivities really look like himself in the past couple of weeks. Now, he's still among the most productive handful of quarterbacks you're going to find in football, but the numbers are down in spots of efficiency and spots of protecting the ball. And if he can just return to that, you know, the 49ers are going to get better quickly. And the truth is, just given the way that this season is unfolding, just the way that the flower is opening up in front of us, Brock Purdy is going to have to level up from pretty good to pretty great. You know, if he is really going to be the man, well, starting to act like it right now and perform like it and be the tide that lifts all the boats in the harbor, not just one of the boats in the harbor, now's the time. He's thrown 5 too many interceptions already this year, right? I mean, it feels like that. He is throwing way too many downfield attempts. He is looking too much. You know, we always told you that he wasn't a dink and dunk guy, but he needs to get back to whatever philosophy had people who don't know what they're talking about labeling him that. Less downfield attacks, get back into that 15-yard attack box, and we'll talk more about that in just a second. He's in shotgun too often. He's not under center. No one is biting on play action. Play action from the shotgun has basically just been token play action that nobody's biting on. There is no screen game that we have seen. There is no attacking other teams by making them off balance by just inviting them to Brock because we're setting up a screen. It's like teams are all over Shanahan's tendencies. So Shanahan's even gone away from some of his tendencies, and maybe it's time to do that. You know, the wide receivers, the play, the production, it's been underwhelming. We know that. I know that. You know that. But that is about to be the price of business around the San Francisco 49ers going forward once Brock Purdy agrees to a new contract. Less wide receiver, whatever, prowess, talent, paycheck, however you want to talk about who those guys are, there'll be less of that with more of a paycheck for Brock Purdy, right? So this is the world that he needs to live and thrive in because it's the world that everyone moves into next season. The new Brock Purdy economy is going to change things around here. So Brock almost needs to start playing that level of football right here and right now with the team that he's got in front of him. You know, are teams on to Kyle? Have they figured out his tendencies? Are they all over him? In some ways, it feels like a yes. In other ways, not really. I will say this, though. I think one of the reasons why Kyle loves Brock Purdy so much is because Brock Purdy is, as I said last year, he's a yes chef quarterback. Whatever the chef says, he says, yes, chef, and he does that. Whatever the coach says, yes, chef. He's the great sous chef. He'll just do whatever you ask him to do. I think he needs to go not maverick or against the grain or anything like that, but I think we need to see something from Brock that is a little bit more, you know, my instincts are telling me that's the wrong thing to do. Kyle sent in a play. I don't like it. I'm audibling this play. I am getting out of a play I do not like to get us into a play that I do like. And look, I mean, if he's going to be a $55, $60 million a year quarterback, those are the choices that come with that, right? With great paychecks come great responsibility, especially at the quarterback position. So I just think that this whole thing is fascinating. And as bad as it looks, as many ominous signs as you could stack on top of each other, and there have been an awful lot of ominous signs stacked on top of ominous signs, stacked on top of, man, it just doesn't feel like it's going to be your year. There's a whole lot of that the 49ers are working uphill against right now, right? What are they? 1 or 2 more red zone touchdowns away from 5-2. What are they? 1 fumble away from 5-2. What are they? A special teams mistake away from being 5-2. They're eyelashes away from being 5-2. So even though you are what your record says you are, with all the headaches, with all of the distraction, with all of the pain and the setbacks and the 1 step forward, 2 steps back nature to the season that the 49ers have had and shown us so far, it's not as bad as they've actually shown us. It really isn't. We love to suffocate under, it's all going wrong. And in a lot of ways, it does feel like it's going wrong. But man, just a small handful of plays go the other way. You are 5-2. And if those plays had gone the other way and all of the problems still remain, and, Debo got pneumonia and Ayuk's done for the year and McCaffrey still hasn't played and some red zone struggles are still defining this team's offense when it gets close to the goal line and not getting Jordan Mason into the end zone. If all of those things could still be true and this team could still be 5-2, and if this team were 5-2, you know what you wouldn't be complaining about at all? The San Francisco 49ers. You wouldn't be talking about trash can emojis. You wouldn't be talking about how Kyle's got to get fired now or how you don't believe in Brock anymore. None of that would be happening if they were 5-2, but they're not. They're not. And that's significant. But they're not nearly as bad as we have tried to demonstrate or explain away. And a lot of times someone tries to tell you, this team isn't as bad as you think it is. It's, you're making excuses. You're an apologist. No, I understand what good football is and how good football can sometimes give you the bad results that you're not seeking. It happens. This is an unforgiving league. You can play well enough to win a game and still lose it in the NFL. You really can. Having said all that about Brock's responsibilities, how Brock needs to get his act together, how he needs to take more command and maybe eat the apple quicker with a whole bunch of smaller bites than trying to take a big bite out of the apple. On almost every drive, it seems like Brock is hunting for big game when he should maybe just go back to shooting pheasants and squirrels and shit. With all of that happening, with all of me saying, Brock, you got to be better, the truth is, this week, all you got to do is run the ball. The Dallas Cowboys are dreadful against teams running the ball. They get blown up to the point where right now they're the worst in the NFL. The Dallas Cowboys have a 0.16 EPA per play against the run. That is the worst in football. That is, how many points are you generating by just running this play? What's the estimated amount of points you're adding? And running against the Cowboys is as efficient as passing the ball against all but 5 other NFL teams. In other words, if you're looking for chunk plays, if you're looking for big plays, you can look and find it more often on the ground than you can look and find big chunk plays in the air against all but 5 other NFL teams. That's how bad they are. And if Micah Parsons is back, will it make them better? Yes. But a lot of those bad numbers were generated with him in there. So, this is a take advantage of a team that you know how to beat week if there ever was one. The Dallas Cowboys, having said all that, this is the vulnerable bowl. Because if there's 2 things we know about these teams is they have rendered themselves vulnerable more than they actually are. Each of these teams has figured out, both the 49ers and the Cowboys have figured out a way to be their own worst enemies at times. Injuries, missed tackles, turnovers, special teams problems. It's all a mess. 49ers, like player injuries aside, the reason why this game is a got-to-have-it game is because you are running out of mulligans. It's it. There is no more wiggle room. There is no more real margin of error baked into this season. They have used all of their margin for error up already. When they needed to stack W's, they had too many L's stacked against them. Not to the point that they're out of it. Not to the point that they're not going to the playoffs. Like, none of that math is kicked in yet. But the math of you're going to have to play a level of perfect football from here on out does kick in starting right now. So we'll see if they got it in them. Again, as bad as it's all looked, as frustrating as it's all looked, I just don't think it's time to go full on, straight up panic mode, make a really big trade where you're sending out assets for tomorrow to try to get a little bit better today. I think they got solutions in their own locker room to get better today. I think they got a bye week coming up that's going to make them better than they are today. I think that they got answers to their own questions without giving up valuable future assets. Now, I'm telling you, if you can bring in a guy who's absolutely going to change the temperature in the room, like, oh, you can go get Myles Garrett for a number one. Yeah, I'll flip you a number one for Myles Garrett today. And so will every other team in football. So why would the Cleveland Browns want to help out the 49ers? Outside of that, I don't think that there is a real, oh, that's going to make a dramatic difference trade out there that anyone's going to want to help the 49ers make. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they do concoct the deal that really makes everyone go, hey, okay, that's going to change things. I think Juwan Jennings can change things. I hope that Jacob Cowing can change things. I hope that Ricky Pearsall can change things. Because guess what? You went out of your way to add all of those guys. You got them, play them. You know, I'm a little tired of having Kyle Shanahan go to the grocery store, come home, and say, you know what? Let's order pizza. Like, dude, you were just in the grocery store. You just went shopping for everything you need to prepare a delicious meal. But you want to go like DoorDash now? You want to go Uber Eats? Why did we just spend all that money at the store if you want to get something delivered? So, you know, you're in year 8 here, Kyle. Every element of this team is built in what you thought was best for it. So don't tell me that you now need more for it to look just normal again. Like, these problems need to be solved in-house. And because of the changing Brock Purdy economy, I do not think that they should be given up much. I really don't think that they should be giving up much. Are you feeling it? Can you feel the Cowboys coming to town? You feeling that? That was the sip of the day right there. That was absolutely delicious. Speaking of absolutely delicious, where's my man right here? Boom. Let me tell you, my man Ike, absolutely delicious sandwiches, over 100 locations. He is the primary sponsor of this show, and that's my guy. And what he wants to do is give you a free sandwich, and you can get one when you sign up for that Ike's Love Rewards program. You get a free sandwich when you sign up, prizes with each and every purchase you make after that, free chips, sodas, drinks. It's all out there for you, and a chance to win a trip for you, +1 airfare, hotel, and game accommodations arranged at the Superdome for a very large football game that is going to be played in New Orleans in February. You can register for that as well when you sign up for part of the Ike's Love Rewards program. So do it. You'll be very, very happy you did. My guy right here, Ike's. Look at that beautiful, bald little head. Little flavor saver. That's our guy right there. The Dubliner, I hope to see you there November 3rd, starting at noon. It's Plus Mania 5, the Plusening. And oh, by the way, if you're getting into the Plus, I'm going to tell you right now, stay open for Club Plus because we're going there. I haven't been in the chats yet today. We will jump into the chats and jump into Club Plus at the end of today's show. We're Plusing, baby. We're Club Plusing today. I know Rock and New Era thinks that the club's not open as much as it used to be. Again, you know, if we gave it to you every day, there'd be no demand for it. First rule of show business. Leave them wanting more, Rockin' New Era. Hope to see you guys at PLO Mania at the Dubliner in West Portal on November 3rd. It's the Niners bye week. Why not? Come on by. This week, tonight, begins week 8 at SoFi Stadium. We got Vikings 5-1. We got Rams at 2-4. You got the Rams spending or like appearing in every single NFL column and podcast and story. If it's got a trade rumor attached to it, you got an awful lot of the Rams attached to it because Cooper Kupp is apparently on the block. That could be a big, bold move. The Rams are willing to deal. So everything is pointing towards like, okay, the Vikings are a lot better. The Rams are about to give up on the year. They got Thursday night game at SoFi Stadium. Let's go to BetUS right now and have a little looky at what we got tonight at SoFi Stadium. We got Vikings and the whole world screaming. Vikings are going to win this game. The Rams, they're giving up on the year. They're not going to win this game. The Rams are getting 3 points. It feels like this is just easy money, doesn't it? Like it feels like the Vikings -3 is the easiest money out there to look at. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to fade that public, baby. Give me the Rams and the points tonight. Why not? What the hell? Matthew Stafford, he wants to keep it together. We're not going to feel great about this, by the way. We're just going to go $25 on this bad boy. But we're placing our bets right now. Give me the Rams +3. And if I'm wrong, that'll be good for the 49ers in the NFC West standings. So either way, it feels like I'm winning. Feel like you're winning. I'm winning. We're all winning. I don't know about that. But there you go. Check out BetUS, by the way. Easy to use. I just showed you that. And right now, if you use promo code YouTube150, you can get 150% deposit bonus up to your $2,000 on your first deposit bonus and 125% on your next 2 deposits. So there you go. Use promo code YouTube150 when you sign up over at BetUS. Start playing there today. Again, thanks so much to BetUS for powering today's show. From my man Ike, who is represented on the cardboard cutout at all times, and I hope to see you at the Dubliner for Club. You're going to see us in Club Plus here just a little bit. But I hope to see you at the Dubliner for PLO Mania 5, the Plusening. Smiley Dan already pledging to keep us safe. Just keeping up with, keeping up with the Joneses, if you will. The Warriors, or excuse me, we're not there yet. The rest of the NFC West, as it's playing this weekend, again, you get Rams on Thursday night against the Vikings. The Bills are at the Seahawks on Sunday. That is a big game, around the 49ers orbit for sure. Cardinals at Dolphins. And all I can tell you is that Tua's back. Tyreek Hill is excited. And Mike McDaniel, if you can do your old team a solid and handle the Arizona Cardinals, it's exactly what the doctor ordered for the San Francisco 49ers. Again, the Niners are going to need a little help to get to where they want to go. I think some help is out there for them. And we'll see what happens this week. Oh, by the way, speaking of help, have you seen who's in Green Bay helping Matt LaFleur the rest of the way in some sort of a consulting role? Robert Saleh. So Robert Saleh and Matt LaFleur apparently are like boys. Like one was the best man at the other's wedding. So there is a, how come he wouldn't come back and help Kyle? Well, the other guy's a better friend, apparently. So Robert Saleh, who let everybody know when he got dismissed from that Jets job that he was going to spend the rest of the year with his family and then put his hat back in the ring for the next coaching cycle. I do remember there was this one content creator, I think his name was Damon Bruce, and he told you, yeah, that's going to last a month tops. Well, I was way off. It didn't even last 3 weeks. Whenever a coach tells you, I'm going to go spend a little time with my family, we always focus on the word family. Oh, he's going to go spend time with his family. When really what you should focus on was the adjective that he used to describe the amount of time. A little time. Very little time. Once a coach is in a season, they're only happy if they're coaching. And Robert Saleh goes home. He spends about 11 days with his wife and his kids. And he's like, all right, Hey, Matt LaFleur, how's Green Bay this time of year? You need some help? So there you go. Looks like he will not be showing up to help the 49ers anytime soon. Again, this is why I don't think that I really don't think that any big trade is going to be out there, because I don't think anybody wants to help the 49ers. I don't think anybody wants to help Kyle Shanahan or John Lynch get better. I don't think there's a lot out there for them. So there you go. We're going to have much more Friday as we get into the actual X's and O's in the matchup and how you beat the Cowboys. As much as we started today with the message that Brock Purdy needs to be the best version of Brock Purdy he can find and make available to the world of football, he needs to be that guy right now. But still, even with that guy doing that thing, you got to run to beat the Cowboys. There is no easier way to beat the Cowboys than if you run against the Cowboys. So, Jordan Mason, we are looking at you, and Isaac Garenda, we are looking at you, and Deebo Samuel, if you're actually playing and running with the ball out of the backfield, I guess we're looking at you too. Maybe we see more of Patrick Taylor this week, but it's time for the 49ers to get back to basics here. And getting back to basics, I think, means operating in that 15-yard box. The 15-yard box is something I've been talking about for years. The 15-yard offensive box for Kyle Shanahan is 12 yards past the line of scrimmage and 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Where's the screen game? Where's the explosive plays that generate behind the line of scrimmage with a wall of blockers just being set up? Where is the yak yardage? I mean, if you want to know, like, what's your biggest indicator this offense isn't quite what it used to be? It's in that stat alone. You used to go from leading the league in yards after catch for a handful of years in a row to dead last this year. What is different? Stylistically, is it different? Attacking downfield too much different? Is this the life out of the shotgun? Is that what's making it different? I think I'm tired of seeing the difference. Just go back to what I know works. How about that? You think Andy Reid would be spending an awful lot of time looking for different as he sees what works consistently winning for him? The 49ers the 49ers better not need Christian McCaffrey to generate explosive plays in a screen game behind the line of scrimmage action. You got to be better than just dependent on one guy for that to be successful. And the thing is we saw them be successful before Christian McCaffrey actually showed up. So it's available. It's out there. They just need to return to it. They got to return to it. They have always killed teams with the guys that they've had in that style of play. So that style of play is either completely snuffed out by NFL defensive coordinators, or what you're telling me is that everyone is now too old to play like that anymore. And Deebo and Brandon Ayuk, who is damaged goods, and obviously nothing else that happens this year is going to be his fault. But George Kittle, you guys, there's no way you slowed down that much between last year and this year. So what is it? I think it's an abandoning of a philosophy that works. So get back. Get back. Coffee's really good this morning. I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't zhuzh it up. Nothing in there. Just black coffee, baby. And it is good. Week 8 already in the NFL begins tonight. It was really, really interesting to watch the Warriors' first game of the season on Wednesday night. They got underway in Portland. They certainly won convincingly. And man, the Warriors are really set up to be interesting here. Now, look, one of the things that maybe the only definitive thing that we learned watching that game last night is that the Portland Trailblazers are going to have a very long year. They're not good. So you got to look at what the Warriors were able to do and grade it on a little bit of a your opponent stinks curve. But the Warriors, man, if they're really like, is Steve Kerr, is Steve Kerr really about to go 12 deep on us? Like get a full buy-in on the team? Because you don't see that in the NBA. Like Steve Kerr is asking an NBA team to function in an unnatural NBA order if this is really going to be strength in numbers on steroids. If that's what this is going to be, if he can actually sell that to his team and his team embraces that and they're just running waves of fresh leg defenders at every single possession, I'm telling you, the Warriors can steal 6, 7, 8 more wins with fresh leg defensive effort early in this year where other teams, here's the thing. Everybody plays their dicks off on opening night, and then the truth starts getting told in the very next game. So are the Warriors really going to keep up that level of defensive effort that they had up in Portland? And if they do, and they're just shooting, 38 to 42% night in, night out from downtown, and they're taking volume shots from downtown, the math, they will math themselves with some defensive effort into 6, 7, 8 more wins this year. So if you got him at like 48 wins right now, we're talking this is how you get to 54 wins. If you got him at 50 wins, this is how you get to 56 wins. If that's what you got him at, because what we saw has some real interesting to it. I mean, if Andrew Wiggins is going to come out and play like a big boy each and every night, this team and its prospects get a lot rosier in that alone. Buddy Hield shooting like that, my God, you can bring 40 off the bench with some of the shooting that you bring off the bench? The Warriors haven't quite had a team like that, not ever. Again, Kerr has a very happy locker room today, and everybody is bought into this today. But nobody's had that call from an agent saying, hey, man, if you're going to make more money in the coming years, you need to put up better numbers yet. Well, I can't put up better numbers because Steve is playing everybody 18 to 23 minutes a night, and we're all getting like 18 to 23 minutes a night, but that's really not enough to get you in that 30 minutes a night, and now I'm playing big dick NBA basketball. To sell. It's easy to sell this to Curry and Draymond and the older guys. Hey, less is more. Less is more. It's going to be hard to sell that to Jonathan Kuminga. Less is more, buddy. Less is more. Jonathan Kuminga just turned down a lot of money, apparently, in names of, I'm going to be a max player. Did you see how bad he looked last night? If as bad as Kuminga played last night means when he comes out and he plays like that, he's only getting 17, 18 minutes. Jonathan Kuminga is going to be miserable by the All-Star break. So, again, kumbaya now. Let's see where this goes. Steve Kerr and the Warriors, with a 12-man rotation, are trying to disrupt the natural order of how basketball functions. It can only work if everybody's going to be a Boy Scout. Have you got a full Boy Scout buy-in? Man, I thought there was an interesting bit of post-game audio from Steph Curry. And I want to share this with you. This is from last night, 95-7 the game. Crank this out. Let me share this Steph Curry, who is just talking about the start of the year and how the group is in a full buy-in. And basically, I want you to listen to Steph Curry here because he does everything but call out Klay Thompson by name when it comes to the here's your Steph Curry, Golden State Warrior vibes check. Listen to this.
And trying to do something like that. Our energy's been great from day one of training camp. It's a beautiful locker room. Guys that are happy to be here, happy to play the way that we do. I understand everybody's gonna get an opportunity. Coach has done a pretty good job of explaining, the situation we're all in, like in a positive way of, again, how many guys he would like to play and how many guys can play. And to your point, you have to have, again, a commitment and no agendas, no egos or healthy egos of when you're out there, like you know you're supposed to be out there, but if it's not your night, you can't bring the team down with your energy. So I haven't seen any red flags with that, which has been great.
How would you define?
If it's not your night, you're not going to be out there and you can't bring the team down with your energy. Somebody said, Damon, that audio was low. Yeah, I'm very sorry the audio was low. I cranked it over here on my soundboard best I could. It was a bad recording there. But there you go. I mean, I don't think it's an exaggeration to say that Klay Thompson wore out his welcome with this team, with that locker room. Klay, who is, forever loved, nothing but love for Klay. Klay became a headache. The guy who was a, total hands off, don't need to worry about Klay Thompson at any and all times, became the guy that you needed to worry about because he would have the hang dog. He would be, he's the kind of guy who would start the evening 0 for 5, and then he would take 5 more shots for sure. He shot the Warriors out of a lot of bad games looking to chase something because he couldn't find it on a nightly basis. That's Steph Curry basically saying, the vibes were off last year for a number of reasons, but the reason that you never hear anyone talk about it was Klay. He did everything but call out Klay Thompson in that video alone. I hate to say it. But Steph Curry just said it. Again, strength in numbers on steroids. How long can Kerr get an NBA locker room to buy into that? I mean, he's basically running a basketball team in the same manner in which like a, YMCA, everybody gets to play, everybody gets an orange slice or a banana at halftime, everybody plays is not how professional basketball works. Everybody gets into the game tonight that is not how the natural order of this league operates. Maybe this is the zig to the rest of the league's zag that the Warriors think they have some sort of advantage in. If you really do have a team with such a true level of depth that not everybody can be used in the manner in which is going to sustain them and make them happy and have all the pieces fit together. Again, if some pieces are fitting together so well, that by definition makes other pieces expendable. But if other pieces are out there getting run and putting some good stuff on tape, there are going to be other teams that might be interested in other pieces. So the Warriors either got an operation that's going to work in a new style and manner, which we are unaccustomed to, or they've got a level of depth which is going to be on full display right up into the moment that it doesn't work. And if it doesn't work in the manner in which they hope it's going to work, the Warriors got a lot of interesting pieces and valuable assets that could be packaged together now to make the trade that would be the difference in, are you going to be good or are you going to be contender? So this season, after just 4 quarters of basketball, is shaping up to be interesting as hell. It really is. I am excited that the Warriors are back, and they are officially going to be back at it on Friday night in Utah. Tonight, the Sacramento Kings, they tip off their season at home against the Timberwolves, so we'll see if they light the beam. Unfortunately, the Warriors home opener just could not have been scheduled worse. The Warriors home opener is going to happen in a vacuum of nobody gives a shit because everybody is watching 49ers Cowboys. The Warriors home opener at Chase Center is directly up against almost to the kickoff time of 49ers Cowboys. That's just such bad planning by the NBA. Does the NBA not understand that, there aren't too many things that could render the Warriors to a bad ratings in their own home market But that's it. I mean, that's go up against Niners Cowboys. I don't care who you are. You could be performing miracles up against 49ers Cowboys. Nobody's going to come watch your miracles. Maybe at halftime we'll check you out, but that's it. That's it. Everyone's watching 49ers Cowboys. It's going to be one of the biggest rated games of the entire NFL season, excuse me. And, you could have had a Monday opener. You could have had a Sunday matinee opener. I mean, why not have the Warriors play on Sunday afternoon, knowing that the 49ers are playing on Sunday night football? So everyone involved with that kind of fucked that up. Let me tell you what I think is pretty cool. What I thought was, as I was watching the league and popping in and looking at some games and some teams and getting an awful lot of, it's good to have NBA Twitter back, is it not? NBA Twitter is some of the most fun sports Twitter there is. The Intuit Dome down in LA, it looks awesome. Yeah, I mean, it really, really looks awesome. That wall of fans looks amazing. You already got Kevin Durant missing free throws because all those fans are, that's a new sight line that the NBA players are going to need to get used to, shooting free throws into those fan base. The scoreboard that hangs over the court, the big circle, looks incredible. The videos that I've seen of every aspect of that place, from the seats that the fans get to sit in, to the views from, the nosebleeds, to that place is a paradise of toilets. There are more toilets in there than anyone. I think there's a toilet for every 15 fans. There's one toilet for every 15 fans in there. That place has the same concessions available at every concession spot, meaning that you don't have to walk to the other side of the arena to get the one thing that you want, because that one thing that you want on the other side of the arena is available everywhere in the arena. What a freaking concept. Stop making me walk a mile for the thing that I want. Steve Ballmer has designed a stadium whose entire mission is to get your butt back into your seat as quickly as possible. What a concept. It's freaking brilliant. The stadium is designed to return you to your seat as fast as possible. Too bad it's going to be wasted on the Clippers, by the way, who, in total Clipper fashion, dump the first game in their new building in overtime. That wall, though, it's pretty cool. It's the first thing that is the closest to a student section the NBA has had in a really, really long time. 51 uninterrupted rows of seats. The first 13 rows are filled by hand-selected Clipper diehards. I mean, they must be hiring actors. There's no way you got 13 rows of diehard Clipper. There aren't 13 diehard Clipper fans in the world, are there? There can't be. How many Frankie Munozes are there, right? That it's a 51 uninterrupted rows of seats. First 13 are filled with Clippers diehards whose fandom gets vetted before the franchise by the franchise beforehand. The fans in those first 13 rows are expected to stand and chant for the entire game and create an atmosphere that is similar to a student section. Like, good luck with that. But if it means you can't sit in this section, people will be willing to do it. I think it's great. It looks awesome. The building looks incredible. My favorite nugget of information. And yesterday, a lot of, people, business, sports, content creator people were putting out their Intuit Dome biographies. Joe Pampliano, who I think is one of the best sports business guys out there. He's a friend of the channel. We've had him on. He's fantastic. Joe Pampliano wrote my favorite nugget of information about the Intuit Dome. And hold on. Let me just make sure I got this. All right, here he goes. So when Steve Ballmer proposed building the Intuit Dome, he's basically building it on the same plot of land that SoFi Stadium sits on And the LA Forum sits on, the old LA Forum, which they took years ago and just turned into a concert venue. And apparently it's a great, great concert venue. But obviously, all new concerts are going to want to come into the state-of-the-art Intuit Dome. So James Dolan, who is the Knicks owner, and James Dolan is one of the worst owners in the history of sports. The only thing that he has ever done for the Knicks was build the Sphere in Las Vegas. In other words, he's never done anything to help the Knicks out, actually. And we'll see. We'll see what this year looks like. I know people are high on the Knicks. They're the Knicks. They'll always fuck it up. But anyways, James Dolan is one of sports' all-time billionaire asshats. He really is. And Knicks owner James Dolan filed a lawsuit to stop the Intuit Dome's construction because he thought it was going to impact concerts at the Forum, which he owned. So in other words, I own the Forum. You are going to be competing against me for concerts. Therefore, I am going to unleash a sequence of lawsuits which really can't stop you from doing what you're doing, but I'm going to make it as difficult as possible for you to build this new stadium close to my stadium. So Steve Ballmer, who owns the Clippers, rather than arguing about it in court, Steve Ballmer just came right out and he bought the Forum for $400 million from James Dolan. That's FU money. Gary Radnich used to love talking about FU money. That's the biggest, that's as big of an FU as there is. Excuse me. You're going to sue me about something here? You know what I'm going to do? I am just going to buy your fucking stadium from you. Shut up. That is big baller right there. That's Ballmer level cash. Woo. That's FU dollars. I like that. I will say this. James Dolan did give us the Sphere, and the Sphere is freaking amazing. Go to a concert at the Sphere in Las Vegas as soon as you can. Trust me. See, Ballmer's given us the Intuit Dome. He's given us 1,600 toilets, apparently. He's given us the same concessions at every single spot you get a concession. It's like all like one of those Amazon stores where you just walk in, you pick your shit up, it automatically scans and recognizes you, bills you for it, and you go. Get me back to my seat. I like that. We are going to be hopping into Club Plus here in just a second, but first we got to give you your day in history. Before we get there, though, I see we got a couple of super chats have come in. This is from Obey Banksy, putting $5 in that ganja jar. Thank you, Banksy. Who would you rather have? 49ers Alex Smith or Brock Purdy? Oh, I'd rather have Brock Purdy, without a doubt. Look, Alex Smith, great guy, was very successful in an Alex Smith-ish type way when he got to Kansas City and was paired with Andy Reid. But remember, he didn't throw a single touchdown to a wide receiver. It was all tight ends and running backs for Alex Smith. You want to talk about dink and dunk and captain checkdown. I mean, that was Alex Smith. I would much rather have Brock Purdy. I think Brock Purdy is younger. He's more dynamic. He is, well, obviously he's younger now, but I mean, Purdy's better early on in his career than Alex Smith was. And Alex Smith was in a bad situation with a bad coach. Purdy was neither in neither of those situations, but he's thrived. I'm on team Brock Purdy. And you should still be on team Brock Purdy now, especially if you're a 49er fan, because he is the quarterback of your football team. This is from Diego Sanchez. Damon, I had your sandwich at Ike's, 10 out of 10. It's not just about the record, but it's also the effort they showed against KC. Struggling to be 500 is the third thing wrong right now. You know, I watched Kansas City beat them. I didn't think it was due to a lack of effort. I didn't think it was due to not playing hard. It was just you got out-schemed and you got outplayed by two significant entities that are officially on their own or together better than what you got. You know, Patrick Mahomes all by himself is more talented than anyone playing or coaching for the 49ers. You couple him now with Andy Reid, and you're in trouble. You know, Kansas City Chiefs are trying to become the first team to ever win 3 Super Bowls in a row. This is not chopped liver that the 49ers lost to. I knew they were going to lose to the Chiefs. Andy Reid out of a bye week means you're going to lose that game. I had them losing that game before the season started. I said that they were going to lose that game before it kicked off. And guess what? They lost that game. That's not the game I'm worried about. It's the other opportunities that were on the stick that they blew. Dallas needs to be a get-right game. You got the Vulnerability Bowl going up. You got 2 teams. I mean, I'm telling you right now, the San Francisco 49ers 100% could drop 35 points on you or lose by 10. The Dallas Cowboys are in the same boat. The Dallas Cowboys could drop 35, 38 points on you before you even know what happened. Or you could run all over them and they could lose by 3 touchdowns. It's really weird. It's really weird. 2 of the better teams in the NFC have spent the first third of the year showing everyone how many mistakes they're willing to make themselves to help you beat them. I'll tell you, the first team, whether it be the 49ers or the Dallas Cowboys, that stops beating itself is going to find itself in a playoff picture at the end of the year. The Dallas Cowboys could still be in the playoff picture at the end of the year. There's a lot of football left, but everyone is running out of games that you can just throw away. Well, it's all right. We'll get them next week. Yeah, you're running out of that. You can never run out of history. All you got to do is look backwards, and you see plenty of it. Let's get to today in history before we say goodbye to everyone who's listening on the podcast, and then we're going to have Club Plus over here on YouTube. Today in history, 19 years ago tonight, I hosted my first ever sports phone on KNBR. 19 years ago, October 24th, 2005, was my first night on the air at KNBR. Man, those 19 years went by in the blink of an eye. It's so funny. I spent, I believe, like just as much. It was 9.5 years at both places. Almost. Did 9.5 years at KNBR and then went to 95.7 The Game for like 9 years. And I still have so many good radio memories. I loved hosting Sports Phone. I sure did. Oy, oy, oy! I loved hosting Sports Phone. Pound it, pound it, pound it, pound it. I sure did. I loved hosting Sports Phone. Send it in, Jerome! Oh, it was so much fun. Nighttime radio used to be a playground for fun sports fans. And I love doing it. Seriously, if they had figured out a way to just say, hey, Damon, we want you to be host of Sports Phone for the next 30 years. Here's a really decent paycheck. I would have been like, cool, let's make that deal right now. I love doing it. I loved doing it. 19 years ago today, God, I'm freaking old, was my first Sports Phone 680. So fresh, so innocent, so young, nowhere close to being the battered performer that you now see in front of you. By the way, happy birthday to Drake. Happy birthday to Drake. Drake turns 38 years old today, but unfortunately he was killed by Kendrick Lamar this past summer, so I don't know if we can really even celebrate that, but happy birthday, Drake. Too bad you're no longer with us. Today in history, supersonic passenger service ended. I mean, in the history of the planet, have we ever found a mode of transportation that was officially faster than the other mode of transportation and then said, we're done? Whatever happened with the Concorde? British Airways flew its last Concorde flight today. I forgot to write the year down. Sorry, everybody. Air France would cease similar operations in May. I forgot to write down the year, but when, hey, we got the fastest way to travel on the planet. You want to keep it up? You want to figure out a way to make it cheaper and more available? Nah, let's just stop running the experiment right now and scrap the whole thing. When else in the course of human history did we decide, all right, slower's better? Really weird. I hate the airlines. Today in 1940, I don't know if you're at work right now. If you are at work right now, and if you're at work during a 40-hour work week, you can thank today in 1940 for that happening, because the 40-hour work week officially went into effect under the U.S. Fair Labor Standards Act of 1938, went into effect today, the 40-hour work week. Hopefully you got time and a half going. And speaking of communicating, speaking of the way we communicate changes, we had radio as the single most intimate way to communicate from person to person. And I still, there's something very, very powerful, and there's something very impactful about the spoken word being spoken directly to you. I do believe it's still one of the greatest ways to communicate on the planet. You don't get muddled up with graphics or lower thirds or advertising or things in the corner of videos or anything like that. Just one voice coming out of a speaker, hitting you in the ear. It's incredibly powerful. But so is YouTube. So is what we're able to do here. So is the fact that we get to communicate and chat and really get to know each other here. It's pretty amazing. It truly is amazing. And I'm guessing that the very first person to ever get like a telegram was like, holy shit. Oh my God. So somebody in New York said something in Morse code that was beamed all the way to the other side of the country, and not even, an hour later, I got somebody in a telegram showing up to give me a piece of information that would have taken weeks, if not a month, to reach me if we were still delivering mail and messages by trains and the Pony Express and all that shit. Well, today in 1861, the first transcontinental telegram was sent via the telegraph in the United States, effectively bringing an end to the Pony Express. The first ever telegram sent today in 1861. And I believe it was Kendrick Lamar who just said, they not like us. That was the first message ever sent. And again, we haven't seen Drake since. Happy birthday. I love a good cup of coffee. I love a good show. I think we had ourselves a good show today. I certainly had my first show. We began our conversation 19 years ago tonight on KNBR. Unbelievable. Unbelievable that it's been 19 years and here we are doing it over here now. Thank you so much for following me over here. Please hit like. Please hit subscribe. We are like less than 20 subscribers away from 25,000. So it is happening. It is working. It is growing over here. And I thank you for supporting what we're doing over here. As always, we thank my man Ike. Get yourself signed up for his Ike Love Rewards program. We will hopefully see you. Speaking of, how about this? No telegrams necessary. Come on in and start high-fiving people that you gotten to know here in the chat. We're going to be hanging out together live in person November 3rd at the Dubliner West Portal. See you there at noon. I hope to see you there at noon. It's the Niners bye week. What else you doing? Come on by. And thanks again to BetUS. You get 150% sign-up bonus when you use promo code YouTube150. Your first deposit up to $2,000 over on BetUS. And that is it, boys and girls. Thank you so much. If you are listening to today's podcast, thank you. Thank you very, very much. If you're watching on YouTube, don't you go anywhere because we're about to open Club Plus. But for you listeners, thank you so very much for hanging out with us. And please do remember that sports don't build character. they reveal it. And like that, he's gone. Squeaky disco ball. Oh, let's go. What do we got going on? Who's feeling like chatting today? Skills report. Hello, everyone. Right back at it. Good to have you here. Good to be here. Thank you for being here. We got all kinds of people at the beginning just saying hello, good morning, all that good stuff. Good morning. Well, again, we got a horn section, baby. How many shows got a horn section? Rick Mighty Bone Feliciano. Maybe I'll tell you what, Rick, where are you playing? Let's all we should all get together and go see Rick playing in a club sometime soon. It's my guy right there. Anthony. Leech Scorpion, good day. Oh, good day, sir. Good day, good day. Chef A, pounding and saying, hi, you ploosers. She already chefing? This is a chefing woman. She chefs hard. How hard? Real hard. What else we got? What else we got going here? Sacred institution. You're a clown, man. All right, spelt you're wrong, but thank you. Loving those sous chefs. There you go. I appreciate it. We love chefs. Chefs keep us fat. I mean, you want a yes chef, sous chef, but you also want a sous chef who's like, hey, let me show you what else I got. And I think that I think that it's officially time for Brock Purdy to start saying, you know, I don't think I like this play on first down, Kyle. I'm gonna come up with my own thing. I'm not talking about being combative, you know, making your head coach pissed off or anything like that. We don't want a war. We don't want a power struggle. I want a quarterback who feels empowered to put the team in the right play. Purdy's arm is depleted. What, Jim, what are you talking about? There's no depletion in that man's arm. Again, I'm not looking at Brock Purdy and thinking, well, the problem that the 49ers offense is having right now is arm strength. But to each their own. Again, this is true. Joe Sullivan, Brock had his worst game out of how many, and everyone's ready to jump off the bandwagon? Like, fuck that. Yeah, exactly. If one bad game from your quarterback is going to send you running for the hills, maybe the hills are more for you than football is. JJ Rader, the sponsor of the Ganja Jar himself. Hello, everyone. Hello, JJ. It's always great to see you, brother. I hope that you can make it to PLO Mania. The team is defeated mentally. I think the team is a little down, a little dauber down right now, but they're not defeated mentally. I'm not sensing that around this team. I'm really not. Again, they're an eyelash away from 5-2. If I know that, they know that as well. So it's not time to be defeated mentally. What else we got going on here? What else we got going on? We got Chef A typing in her car. Damn, that was a tough type. I mean, literally in my car, just coming back from a doctor's. Oh, well, hopefully everything's good. Hopefully the doctor's, everything's good. Not complain. No texting in your car. There's nothing that you need to say over via text while you're driving. Get home and text. Drive safely. Keep it at 10 and 2. Run the ball, Cal. Yeah, JP. Just run the ball. I mean, especially against the Dallas Cowboys. I love the word nadir. I just hope we pass the nadir of the season. Yeah. Yeah, you got to forget about nadir and just focus Nahir. Over here. Not Nader anymore. Focus over here. Purdy can't throw against man coverage. Like Jim Everett, isn't your team interesting enough to where you can go and fuck around in Rams chat rooms? Like, why are you always here? I'll say this. Purdy can throw against man coverage. The problem is his wide receivers getting open against man coverage. That's the problem. The pheasant is a lean bird. I guess, yeah. I mean, there aren't a lot of plump pheasants out there. This is IMJ2 squared. Says, I disagree, Damon. Brock isn't looking to do big anything. He literally does what Kyle wants. But magnets, he should be allowed to improve more. He has excellent instincts. Again, you want to do what Kyle says to do because most of the time Kyle knows what to do. But there are times where Kyle's trying to do something different instead of sticking with what's working. And I want Purdy to stick with what's working more than I want him to set up a play in the second quarter that may not be successful, that you plan on really popping because you gave him a look in the second quarter, so you're going to come back and haunt them with it in the fourth quarter. Like, that's a little too many chess moves down the board. Like, just move that pawn. Just keep it simple. Keep it simple. Parsons officially out. That's good news, Anthony. That is good news. Again, Myles Garrett to the Niners? Yeah, I'll give you a first rounder for Myles Garrett. Sure. True blue forever. We going up up to the left. I was in the car the other day. Jack heard it for the first time. He's like, Dad, what's this? I'm like, this is a song that gets the booty clapping, son. Dip, baby, dip. I said dip, baby, dip. Yeah, great. That's going to be in my head all day now. Thank you very much. Damn it. I wish I hadn't clicked that. Damn you, True Blue. Damn you. Damn you all to hell. Sporticus, get us back on track here. This game is interesting because it's two talented teams that have spent too much margin of error recently this season. They need to win this game. This usually means we are at maximum. It's a huge one. We got consequences in week 8. I love it. I love it. Smiley Dan says, I always want to eat out right after I go grocery shopping. It's part of the human element. They'll be like, okay, I just spent all this time thinking and worrying about food. Now I would just want something to bring something to me. But that's, again, I think the 49ers got to figure out what they can with what they got. And if this season isn't going anywhere quickly anyway, finding out what you got with some of your younger players, your on the edge of the roster players, you need to figure that out too. If these guys are the reason why the year turns around, well, then you got the right guys. If you give them an awful lot of workload and it doesn't bear much fruit, well, maybe then they're not the right guys. But you need to know either way. You can't have a whole bunch of Jacob Cowing is now 2-3 years from now, Ronnie Bell. What's Ronnie Bell? Well, we spent the last 2-3 years not really knowing, and we still don't know, and no one knows except for Kyle, who insisted on keeping him on the team. So that means you go with Ronnie Bell. Rockin' New Era just says Kyle hasn't evolved. Maybe. Maybe that's it. 510 Steve says, you ever spend $300 at Costco and buy a $1.50 hot dog for lunch or dinner? Absolutely. I think we've all done that. We've all done that. Smiley Dan, helping the product that is Eat at Ike's. Indeed. Eat at Ike's. The safety check is happening, baby. See you at the Dubliner for PLO Mania 5. Looking forward to it. Hey, by the way, Smiley Dan, we got 3 nights of fish this weekend from Albany. They're doing a little charity event at the old Knickerbocker Arena in Albany. That's a home game for fish. I think I'll be streaming one of those shows. I had a Jamie Sirewich last night for dinner. Delicious. There you go, Chef A. I love the Jamie Sirewich. That golden barbecue sauce, so good. Jamie was cool, man. Jamie knew food. Albert, I wonder if Damon's putting on money on the BetUS's presidential election market. I got an ad for that today. No, I'm not betting presidents. No. I'm betting the NFL's hard enough. Or there's your saying, don't be a square. Be there at PLO Mania 5. I'm excited. Looks like we're going to have Joe in attendance. Joe, hope to see you there. Rockin' New Air. Shout out Tim Webb. Shout out Tim Webb. I wonder how Thin Tim's doing, man. Champ Ross says the Rams are 1-6 against the spread all year. Fade Damon's pick again. Isn't that means they're due? Damon, you might be losing your house before Monday with that Rams pick. I put $25 on it. I think I look. We're going to be able to absorb a $25 loss if that bet does not hit. Someone needs to ask why 50,000 subscribed to Larry and not Damon. Well, Larry got a 2-year head start on me. 2 years from now, I bet you we're at 50,000 too. It's compound interest. He's been collecting compound interest of subscribers. And I'll tell you, Larry's done an awful lot to help me get exposed on his channel to Niner fans, and that has helped. So, Larry's been incredibly helpful. I hate that we've got competing events going on at the same day. So I hope to see you all up in the Dubliner West portal. Champ Ross says, hey, just ask scumbag Urban Meyer about spending time with his family. Yeah, exactly. Urban Meyer wanted to spend a little bit more time with his family, and then he immediately decided that he was going to go back to his bar in Ohio and just finger random chicks standing in jeans. Yeah. I don't like Urban Meyer. I don't think anyone really does. Football mind, he's got one, but kind of an asshole. He seems to be one of those two. JJ Rader, you're so right. Salah's got 2 families, his family at home and his football family. He just loves one family more than the other. Look, I think you love both of your families there, but one of them spends the money you bring home. The other generates the money you bring home. So you got to be good to both of them. And Robert Saleh, I think, also looks at Matt LaFleur and says, this guy's like family to me. They were best men in each other's weddings or whatever. So, there you go. But yeah, dude, one of my favorite sayings is the player plays. When in doubt, if it's close, the player's going to play. The coach coaches. Coaches coach. They're not happy unless they're coaching. So that whole I'm going to spend time with my family thing, that never, ever, ever lasts long. The fried chicken isn't bad either. Yeah, Irwin, on the Jamie Sirewich, whatever the chicken strips, tenders that Ike heats up, those are good. Those are good. Leslie, you're right. No Christian McCaffrey is a difference in yak yardage, but it shouldn't be the difference between you were tops and now you're the worst in football at it. Like Christian McCaffrey's absence should have brought the 49ers down from yak yardage up here to yak yardage here, not here. That's what's so strange about it. That to me is an indication of there's something totally different happening here. Again, get back to operating in that 15-yard box. Get back to generating explosive plays from behind the line of scrimmage, from just in front of the line of scrimmage. I think there's just a little bit too much big game hunting. Joji, I don't know if you're going to be able to make PLO Mania 5 all the way from Japan, but konnichiwa to you. Joji, it's always great to see you in here. Again, there's no radio station that I could be on in San Francisco where Joji would be listening to us right now from Japan. So that's awesome. I think Kyle's losing the locker room. The players are not believing in him anymore, especially after those blown leads in the Super Bowl. Just my opinion. I think your opinion could become a fact, but I don't think that that's happening. Again, the 49ers are leading the league in yards and average chunks. And I mean, they're still really good at moving the team. They're average defensively. They're a very good offensive team. They're just not scoring. They're not scoring the points they need to score. If the Niners were just this much better in the red zone, they'd be 5-2. And no one would be talking about lost locker rooms or Kyle's words falling flat. It just wouldn't, no one would even be discussing it. They're an eyelash away from being much better than they have been. Smiley Dan saying, man, the Warriors have shown that defensive effort even in the preseason. Keep that up. Again, it's NBA teams all love getting together, and everybody loves playing really hard on opening night. And then the next 3 months happen. You get back to me around Valentine's Day about a 12-man rotation and the kumbaya that is still happening in that locker room at that point in time. If they still got kumbaya on a 12-man rotation by Valentine's Day, then yeah, they're officially onto something. But it's hard when you're breaking the rules of God, OJ. The Golden State Warriors are going to be breaking an awful lot of rules of how NBA teams operate by trying to pull this off. Wiggs at the 2 was a surprise. I'm telling you, if Wiggs keeps that up, I'll officially nickname him Wiggs. I'll say that. I don't like saying Wiggs. You don't get a nickname if you're freaking lazy. And I think that Wiggins gets into his jogging in between the 3-point line and taking bad shots. Didn't see that last night. Again, the Warriors are honestly going to go as far as Andrew Wiggins' nightly effort takes them. If Andrew Wiggins is playing like that and Buddy Hield is coming off the bench and he's doing that and Steph Curry can lay back in the cut and now there's actually guys creating some gravitational pull for Curry, that's when Curry goes bonkers. Curry is real cool with dropping 17 points in 22 minutes, and we'll see you tomorrow night if the rest of this team's getting it done. He's got there's nothing left for Steph Curry to prove in the regular season. But man, I thought that was pretty damning about what he said. Audio be damned. He was talking about Klay Thompson. Nobody is battling their own demons, their own egos, their own agendas. Not anymore. Maybe that's a little Jordan Poole as well. Pretty interesting. All right. Dan Mab. Wiggins is next level inconsistency, boy. Yeah, and that's That's what if he can just become consistent. I mean, it changes everything for the Warriors. Everything. The entire year gets that much easier. Everyone's worst nightmare. You're complaining that people are blocking you when you call yourself everyone's worst nightmare? Everyone's worst nightmare. I guess you guys all hate me. I'll leave. Here's the thing. You can't claim to be everyone's worst nightmare and then complain when you upset people so much with your nightmarish behavior that you get blocked. I mean, you're just living up to your own billing, right? I haven't blocked you. I tolerate you. Damon, trying to get Curry blocked from Klay statue night? No. No, Klay's getting a statue. Klay's getting his number retired. All that's still happening. But Klay at the end was not helpful, more than he was damaging. Just stopping by to say hi, like and sub. Go fucking Niners, Red Jet. Good to see you, Red Jet. You coming to PLO Mania 5, Red Jet? We hope to see you there. Again, the Warriors looked really, really good last night, but God, the Portland Trailblazers are going to be bad. Let's see what they do in Utah. It's like a step up in competition. Let's see what they do in Utah. This is what scares me the most. The Warriors are a team that is all bought in, and a pending trade does what to the locker room, even though the team might get better. He's talking to Carl. 2014 A's Cespedes ring a bell? We're not there yet, right? Well, let's see. The guy that I'm worried about having the I'm officially unhappy and the dauber down that everyone has to step lightly around would be Jonathan. Jonathan Kuminga turned down extension money in the name of I think I'm a max player. And if he is not getting the kind of minutes that a max player trying to prove himself needs, and he is, on the edge of the rotation more than he is on the edge of the starting five, that could breathe a little discontent to and through that locker room. And then maybe he becomes expendable. We'll see. Again, we've watched one game. We're not going to talk about any trades. Not yet. I liked what I saw last night. There are so many bathrooms in the Intuit Dome that Damon doesn't have to go piss in the backyard. But if you gave me the option for a backyard leak, I'm taking it. I love a backyard pee. Always have, always will. I think that's about it, boys and girls. Damon, Clipper Darrell is hardcore. Yeah, Clipper Darrell, and that's the list, right? Isn't that pretty much it right there? Otis is like, hey, Kendrick just had a concert at the Forum a few months ago. Yeah, I think it was streamed, right? I mean, that was a big deal. He had every gang member in LA there doing Kumbaya, and they came to. Here's the thing, what was going to stop gang on gang crime in Los Angeles? A hatred of a Canadian rapper. Who would have ever thought that the world turning on Drake was going to bring the city of Los Angeles together? And you are right. James Dolan is a loser. Just one of them I inherited everything guys. Jeff, love you too. Thank you very much. Joe Schmo says, the Sphere is losing cash. Well, it hasn't been open long enough to have made cash. The place cost like a couple billion to build. So, yeah, they're not going to be in the red for a while. Did you like your history lesson? I hope you liked your history lesson. Thank you. Damon, onion rings? Yeah, put them on your sandwich. Oh, look at Red Jet. She's threatening. May not make it on November 3rd, but never say never. We'll keep an eye out for you, Red Jet. '82 Atlantic. The 49ers locker room lacks character and mental toughness to handle adversity. Totally disagree. I think that is insane, especially you've never even been in their Niners locker room. You don't know how that room operates at all. That is not a team that lacks character guys. So when you're saying it lacks character, they've lost 2 Super Bowls to a team that is markedly better than them. I don't know why so many people think that this is an indictment on how good of a team, an operation, a franchise, how dedicated anyone is here. You know who the Kansas City Chiefs beat in Super Bowls? Probably almost everyone. That's who they are. I don't like it. You don't have to like it. But sometimes you need to realize that, this is just not going your way. Happy Member Berries, Damon. I remember that show like it was yesterday. 49ers Red Zone. How many shows now, Damon? You know what? It's funny. I left the computer upstairs that has my show count on it. I left my laptop upstairs. I'll give you the show count tomorrow. But we're getting to approach 5,000-ish career shows. We're getting up there. We're getting closer and closer to it. Again, I've been talking into a microphone for a long time. 49er Red Zone. I remember calling in and getting good days. I am J2 squared. Listen to you every day at the game, D. Bruce. Thank you. There were a lot of people who listened to me every day on the game, and there are fewer people now listening to the game, and they don't beat KNBR anymore. There was one show that did that with regularity. I wonder whose that was. Must have been Ray Ratto's magic. Sports Phone was the best. It was. I loved the show. We loved it too, Damon. Joe, I loved it. I had so much fun doing it. Hey, True Blue was like, I was better 19 years ago. I think I'm better now. So innocent. Yeah, right. Yeah, I hear you there. Postman says, I missed the Tuesday trifecta. Oy, oy, oy! The trifecta. Just a radio gimmick, man. It was fun, though. People did respond to it. It worked. It totally did. It worked. Did Drake pass away? No, but he was murdered. Follow along. What else we got? Just shouting out Alexander Graham Bell. Who bullied Red Jet? Who is the person that bullied Red Jet out of the day? How does Red Jet bother anybody? She's a sweetheart. She's a huge 49er fan. Who's bullying Red Jet out of it? Stop it, baby. I will always have you. Our heart will go on. Love you, Red Jet. Everybody be nice to everybody. Carl, a little late. R.I.P. Pony Express. Yeah, rest in peace, Pony Express. By the way, if you ever want to watch one of the weirdest movies you will ever see in your life, The Postman, starring Kevin Costner, which is basically like, imagine the movie Mad Max comes to America, but instead of being the entire plot line having like it's hard to get gasoline plot line running through it, it's hard to get your mail plot line running through it. Mad Max, but instead of battling for gasoline, they're battling for mail. It's weird. There's a reason why we had to say goodbye to Kevin Costner there for a little while. Like, dude, you did Dances with Wolves. And then you did an incredible movie about Wyatt Earp. I know Tombstone's probably more popular, but the Kevin Costner Wyatt Earp movie is hardcore as fuck. It's awesome. And then he did Waterworld, and everyone was like, eh. And then he did The Postman, and everyone was like, eh. I still haven't seen a single episode of Yellowstone. I heard that that's good. Let's see. I still don't get why 25,000 people subscribe to to Larry and not Damon. They should have the same amount. Well, I mean, hey, Steve, nothing is fair. And, Larry's gone and earned his audience. And I'll say this, there's people who just don't like me. This show, by design, is not for everybody. There's an awful lot of I'm not saying that Larry's got an audience of bottom feeders or mouth breathers, but there's a lot of people who just watch the show and are like, that's happening on a level I don't like it. I don't like that guy. I'm not for everyone. I'm not for everyone. So I'll never be Walmart. I'll always be more of a boutique store. And I'm comfortable with that. Is this true, Damon? G-Man Music, November 3rd is also Godzilla Day? Coincidence? I think not. Godzilla's got a day? I had no idea. Anthony coming on in with $5 for the Ganja Jar. Ooh, little tip in Club Plus here. Kyle, with 8 years of offensive play calling, out of nowhere, he brain farts and doesn't go back to basics. A formula for Brock and team success. Simplify. Yeah, I agree. Like, return to the things that helped you dominate the league. Everyone's worst nightmare. Damon, are you my dad? I'm a lot of people's daddy. But no, I don't need 2 more dependents. I got enough with the damn kids. Damon, I kind of thought about this after this long, but Damon, you'd have to come up with a legit with a legit into the Club Plus. You probably just have somebody off Fiverr sample your voice, make it your own track. You want me to start rapping? Is that it? Is that what you want? I don't think we need I don't think we need that. But thank you. Thank you very much. Damon, it's 3 and 6 now. Are you telling me 10 and 2 going to get you killed? You got to be at 3 and 6 now. 10 and 2's up here. 3 and 6 over here. Join me at the quarter hours. Dallas got smacked by the Saints. Enough said. Hey, 49ers got smacked by the Rams. Enough said. Week in, week out. Danny Golding says, Damon, I just watched a documentary about a Concorde crash in Paris in 2000. Do you know if that had anything to do with them being discontinued? I thought they were discontinued way before 2000. So, yeah, I don't know if that had anything to do with it. Do not know. But it is weird, right? Like, we officially watched the world invent a faster way to travel and then, like, go away from it in the name of that's too expensive. You figured that there were enough people making enough money to be cool with paying it and keep it going. Like anything, like the first CD player was like $5,000. And then the last CD player was sold for like $14. Things get cheaper the more you produce them. I'm surprised they didn't do that with semisonic flight. Now I know why you're talking about me recording songs because of this. Hearing Damon sing Tootsie Roll is life. We got to get you better. We got to get you more out there. But I'm glad you like the Tootsie Roll. I remember Damon wore a blackened whiskey sign during Club Plus. God, I wonder where that sign is. I got it here somewhere. I wonder if it's under here. Hold on. Where is it? I don't know. Maybe Ozzy ate it. I don't know. But yeah, shit got weird. Real question. Postman says, how come 95.7 The Game has almost 100,000 subscribers and only 300 people watching? It's because they bought those subscribers. 95.7 The Game bought their views and subscribers, and there is absolutely no way that they, added 80,000 people in the month of May when nothing was happening. But that's what happened. Like, it's 95.7 The Game is cooking its own books to look like it matters more in the market than it really does. Again, they're desperate. We're watching radio do everything it can to hold on to audiences that are going elsewhere. You're breaking the laws of God, OJ. Regular, remember that? God, I love that soundbite. Where's Elena? Where's Elena when I need her? You're breaking the rules of God. Like Elena, she had that deep, smoky voice. She used to leave me voice messages, and at the end of it, she'd be like, "Hey, Damon, by the way, so tomorrow on the show, it's going to be blankety blank, and then I'm going to do this, and then she'd be like, okay, goodbye. You're breaking the rules of God." She'd hang up. Let's see. Does Brock Purdy 13 adjust back to the league? Xavier, maybe that's got something to do with it. League's making a little adjustment to him. Everybody's making adjustments. Yeah, I think he does. I think Brock is going to figure it out. And I think the best way for him to figure it out is a less is more approach. You do not need to be hunting 30, 40 yards down the field twice in a quarter. That's a once a half level of throw. Get back to the underneath stuff. Still got love for Uncle Boys. Man, I love everyone who was an early adapter to what we were doing. I love everybody who was an early sponsor on this show. Not all sponsors can last forever. So it'll never be Chris Paul. It will never be Chris Paul. The name game, it will never be Chris Paul. Oh, my God. Here you go. Here's the right way to end this, with me actually feeling like my pubes are grayer than they were when the show started. Danny says, Damon, I was only 8 when you did your first show. Good God. We're talking about Tom Petty the other day. He makes a great cameo in The Postman. Yes, he does, Joseph. Tom Petty has a cameo at the end of The Postman, and he's playing himself. Like Kevin Costner's like, aren't you? And Tom Petty's like, yeah, in another life, man. But yeah, that was really weird. Waterworld was a humongous failure. It's an awful movie. It's terrible. Oh, look at me. You can't get me off the rack. Thank you very much, Chef A. Hot couture. So hot right now. So hot. Yeah, they gained 60,000 in a week. If you gain 60,000 subscribers in a week, you better have put out something that is tantamount to fucking Gangnam Style. There's no YouTube video by itself is getting you 60,000 subscribers in 1 week, unless you are freaking Mr. Beast, okay? It ain't happening. Again, I know more about this space than I ever thought I would. And I know who's good at it. I know who is cheating the game. I know who is playing the game the right way. And I know who's lying. Damon, if you're looking for Grateful Dead shows to listen to, 6 times they're ever played at the Forum. 3 shows in February and December of 89. Dylan in the second set was amazing. David, thank you very much. I'll tell you, in 89, they were just on fire. The Dead was on fire in 89. Some great tours from that, great shows from that tour. I used to have a SPAC 89 cassette tape that I basically wore out. Awesome Hell in a Bucket to open that second set with Victim of the Crime is in that second set. It was really, really good. Anyway, there we go. Hey, Damon, I'm off today. Can you take a shot? You know what, Fosse? It doesn't sound like a bad idea. What do you got going the rest of the day? Not much, man. Not much. Cheers. Here's to you. I hope you can join us at PLO Mania 5, the Plusening at the Dubliner West Portal. Ha! Woo! Yeah. There's your pull. There's your pull. Yeah, 89 was huge for the Dead. Bob Weir even said as much. It was a big tour. That's it, boys and girls. I thank you so very much for watching today's show. We went a little everywhere. We stayed true to the thumbnail for about the first 20 minutes, and then as usual, the show happened. If you dig what we do, go ahead and hit like, hit subscribe. Thank you so very much for doing that. I hope to see you on November 3rd. We will be doing a watch party once again during the 49ers Cowboys game Sunday night, so plan on joining me there. Larry and I will be back for a wake up on Friday morning. We'll have ourselves a fun 11 o'clock show tomorrow as well, but in the meantime, thank you very, very much for listening. Thank you for watching it. I hope you all had yourself a good time up in the club. It just breaks my heart to let you know that you don't have to go home. You just can't stay here.